show is PG-13, so you might hear a naughty word or two.
Today was the first day of women's podium training. We are going to discuss everything we saw. Simone's vault, the U.S. lineups, who we've decided that they're definitely going to win a medal just based on what happened today. USA, Netherlands, Italy, South Korea, South Africa, the British, also what Simone said to Heath Thorpe, which is going to make you guys cry. It is September 28th here at the World Championships in Antwerp. And welcome to GymCastic, the #1 gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. If you are a club member, make sure you're on your members feed so you can listen to the full podcast. And you can listen on your favorite podcast player. You don't even have to log into the website. But if you do, you can watch. And yes, guess what, you guys? We found out that you can watch qualifications. So thanks to allgymnastics.tv. Is that what it is?
Yes, that is the URL.
Yes. So I'm very excited about that.
Excited, but also upset because I'm never going to a meet ever again. If you can watch qualification, I'm like, that's it. That's it. Never leaving the room ever again. I am so sad. We're allegedly getting all the event feeds for all the sessions of qualification. I'm like, see ya. Never seeing anyone ever again.
I'm super stoked that I just want to give a shout out to European Gymnastics because I think this is their doing, allgymnastics.tv, and that they are that they paid the $1 million for world rights or whatever it costs. So thank you, European Gymnastics.
We don't know yet about whether we need a VPN, though. So we'll see if it's Europe specific. But I'm ready. I'm ready.
What's your favorite VPN? Mine is Tunnel Bear.
I switched to Nord recently, and I've been happy with it.
Okay.
I think it's
Can you tell everybody how
I was using before?
Oh, good.
Yes.
We have a little delay, you guys, because we're not in the same country. So that's just going to happen. Yeah.
Our coverage from Worlds. So we're going to do, starting today, 10 podcasts from the competition. We have tons of videos from podium training, routines, interviews. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of that. Also, immediate videos going up on social today of various things that have immediately happened in the sessions. Be sure to check out our World's headquarters for all the information you need. That's on the GymCastic website.
And don't forget, we're having a meetup on Tuesday, October 3rd at 3:30 p.m. Hotel Indigo, Queen A's Kitchen. Please RSVP so that they're not totally overloaded over there. That's on the forum at GymCastic. And don't forget to download
we have our World's Guide. Yeah. So schedule with time zones, team rosters, subdivisions, athlete IDs, photos. So you can be like, which one is that? It's very important. It's very important for us.
So let's talk about the headlines. First of all.
So what happened today? First day of women's podium training. First 3 subdivisions were tonight in Antwerp. And then all the rest of the women's subdivisions. Podium training will be tomorrow. So that was loaded first 3 subdivisions. Italy, Netherlands, then the US, then Great Britain, South Korea, South Africa. First question for Jessica. We've been talking about the US lineups. Who's going to do all around in qualification? So do you feel like you got some insight, some tidbits into order of operations?
Yes, I think so. Also, we talked to Chelsea Memel about it. And so I asked her specifically some questions like, Shilese is first up on floor, but she's was a floor finalist in the last Worlds. And, she's silver medalist all around defending. So can you just comment on that lineup choice? And she was like, comment? And I was like, well, and this interview will be up later. I was like, well, I'm just
She's like, yes, that's what we do.
I was like, well, what went into this decision? And so she said part of it is that Shilese doesn't need a lot of time to get ready on floor. She doesn't need a big warm-up. She's ready to go. And that I can see in a team setting, that can play into your choices. But I think we learned exactly what the lineups are. Chelsea Memel was like, these could change. These aren't final, but
Chelsea's like, don't come for me until after the competition. That's right. What that means.
And I I was like, okay,
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know.
So I think I think the things that we learned for sure is so one thing I want to talk about is the British before, I just want to get to the headlines here.
British? I just asked you about the U.S.
I
lineups.
know you asked about the U.S. lineup, but I want to make sure that we get this in. Is the British Empire of Amanars is only going to be is no Kinsella, only Evans of the Armanar, and the two were a little, but one she did and was great, so that's very exciting. But Kinsella is not doing it here. Okay, but back to the U.S. So what was really interesting is okay, so we got the lineups. They are bars, Leanne, Sky, Simone, Shilese. Okay. Which Simone not being last on bars.
Robertson is,
Yeah. And Robertson did go, and she did a good job. She did her Ginger between the bars Ginger, and it was nice and like a little leg separation, but like she's hitting it consistently. I think overall what I want to say about the US team is everyone looks better or as consistent as they did at trials, including DiCello, which means people aren't like injured or being like doing so much that they're destroyed right now. That's what you don't want to see. Which
find some wood, Jessica, so that you can
just knocked on all the wood.
All right, so did they do it like bars was Leanne, Sky, Simone, Shilese, and then after that, like Robertson and DiCello went? Like they did the first chunk of the lineup and then the next couple. So then Beam, same four?
Being the same, Leanne's, Sky, Shy, Simone.
Okay.
And everybody, and it was interesting, like every rotation, basically they did it like they were competing. So they warmed up, everybody was competing, then they had the next two go, and then everybody did parts. So everybody went up and did something on bars, for example, that they needed to work on, like maybe they got up on beam and did like a series. But the US was done. So, I mean, it was so weird when the US, we've been here, watched all of men's qualification, the first day.
Men's qualification hasn't happened yet.
Oh my God. Men's podium training. Sorry.
Jessica's already done with men's qualification. She's like, so we got that done.
Men's podium training. We watched all of that and was like, there's like people around milling, watching, taking video and stuff like that and pictures of gymnasts. And then it's like, the U.S. subdivision started, and I was like, where are all the people? Like, literally, there's no one in the arena. I was like, aren't there the special? Where is everyone? Like, there just seemed like there was no one. There was gymnasts competing on things, but I was like, where are all the people? And then I look, the entire arena is huddled around the U.S. on bars. It was just so weird. It looked totally empty. And I know it's like the U.S. and they're the defending champions, Simone and all that stuff, but it was just like startling. I was like, do you not see Korea on beam and South Korea on their vaults over here? So anyway, that was like a startling, but the arena is beautiful. I will tell you some things about the arena when we get to the later part of the show. But
on that note, with the U.S. subdivision, Jessica was like, no one is paying attention to Tinghua Tian's beam for Taiwan. Like, this is, everyone stop looking at the U.S. team. This is important.
Do you see the beauty happening over here? And she has a cool leotard on. So floor, then we went to floor, Shilese, Leanne, Joss, and Simone. So I think I would say, Shilese has submitted her double L turn, but she's not the only one that submitted her triple L turn. Hatakeda submitted it too. Yep. Yes. From Japan. So, and to remind everybody how that works. So if you are at the same world championships, this is you can't be like Nelly Kim and just name it after yourself rule. If you do the skill, if you both do it at the same world championships, you get a hyphenated celebrity romance name after your skill. Like the Durwell Fenton. That's how it works now. So it doesn't matter when you do it. So one person does it successfully and gets credit in prelims, then the other person does it in finals on the very last day. Doesn't matter. It'll be hyphenated celebrity name. So I watched Shilese do it today, and I don't know. I feel like she is going to have to get her leg higher. It's at horizontal, almost above, but I feel like to really get credit, they're going to want to see it like 45 degrees from your nose. I just want to make sure.
The full 3 around? That's my concern. I'm worried there's going to be like 2.5 and then a heel drop, because this is not the first time this skill has been submitted. It was Lika Wavers, right? Has submitted this before. No one's ever gotten credit for it, for getting all 3 around, because it's super hard.
So when she did it in her routine that she competed, she made all 3 revolutions and her leg was up almost at like a I just don't know if she's going to get credit, but I was above the floor, so it's hard for me to see. Also, you guys, I took a bunch of videos and put them on Twitter of beam routines, and you can see some floor routines happening in the background and some bars. I am literally exactly in line with the judge's camera, the replay cam on beam. The judges are right below me, so I can see everything they're writing. But I'm not looking because it's none of my.
Were they passing love notes to each other?
No, they were putting up those little barriers between them while it was going on, and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so if you want to know exactly what the replay cam is, if it goes to the head judge, watch those videos that I took, and then Deanna took beautiful video from the floor that will be up on our YouTube later. So even better resolution,
the legacy
gorgeousness
video,
coming,
the high quality, yes. the go back and watch like 6 months from now to be like, wasn't that a beautiful video? Also,
look how gorgeous.
Wasn't that a beautiful video?
Yes.
So we think in terms of lineups, Leanne in the all around.
Yes.
Qualification.
Leanne all around. Because Leanne
with Simone and Shy.
Yes.
This is my question. I was like, who's doing the all around? Who am I putting on the list? Who am I putting in the spreadsheet, Jessica? Who am I not putting in the spreadsheet?
That is who to put in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah. I also thought it was cute on beam that Joss is the one that marks with chalk on the beam Simone's dismount spot. And I was like, oh, teammates. So nice.
With the S? Because doesn't Simone always put like S money?
The money S. She didn't put the money S. Unless she put it on top of the beam. I couldn't see it on the side. That is the best thing to do. I mean, they haven't called her C Money yet. Maybe they learned her name after 10 years because that's where that came from. C Money. This was Belgium.
Antwerp Worlds 2013. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about the lineup. Yeah, Leanne, seeing her ring jump from the judge's angle where I'm sitting, no, it's going to be a no for me. Vault lineup, I cannot remember because
it's almost impossible to tell what the vault lineup's going to be.
Right.
The main priority is getting the people who are doing 2 vaults enough turns in the session. So like sometimes you'll have Simone just like go up first because you have like a lot more turns to take. So you're like, probably not, she's not actually going to go up first. So yeah, vault is always hard to tell. But
yeah. Oh, speaking of vault, Simone did a lot. So she did her double pike, her yurchenko double pike with a spot, what's interesting about this, I was going to tell the story earlier and then you sidetracked me with what your all around question, Spencer. So what was interesting is that Nick Siccardi of NBC Sports, who knows all the stats. Like he was just rattling them off in the mix zone. I'm always so impressed how he can remember those things. So anyway, he followed up with Cecile and asked, is Laurent going to spot Simone in the competition? And she specifically said that it's going to be up to Simone. So they've talked about spotting and they're leaving it up to her. So there's a possibility that Simone will be like, I'm fine in finals. I'm just going to do it. It's basically Simone's decision now. So that's a little bit of a change from when Laurent was like, I told her I am spotting her. It's not worth it. So we'll see what happens. But that was a great update that we got from Nick. Additionally, I want to talk about what happened on beam. So Deanna's down on the floor. I was up in right above the beam judges, my favorite place to be, and hovering above them. And Deanna says, oh my God, I don't know if you could hear that, but Simone just called out to Heath and said, I love seeing you, but you should be up here with us. We miss you. So for a reminder, Heath and Simone have been competing together since 2018. And Heath is the Australian national champion, and he is not on the team. And it is so glaringly, so many people know him, and like photographers and people that are on the floor coming up to him. He's working media here, and coming up and talking to him and be like, what are you doing down here? It is just like, for Simone to call that out and like give him so much love, it is a bad look for Gymnastics Australia. Like if it wasn't bad enough and so clear that they had made a big mistake, Simone called it out. So there you go. Okay. Other things that we need to talk about. Simone's yurchenko double pike. There was a dude who was his first time ever working gymnastics. There were so many people and photographers around vault that was like kind of making me a little bit nervous. Like everyone was very well behaved. The FIG even has like a new person doing video. And the first day, the guy had like this giant camera on like a pole vault pole. I don't even want, it's just like huge stick in the air, you know? And like he literally was like hovering it over. That's how long this thing is, over the pommel horse workers. And I was like, well, you know, you can get hurt on pommel horse, but if that thing smacks someone during pommel horse, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like vault, right? My respect for pommel horse being made so clear here. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but then he stopped doing that. Like I think he was talked to and was like, that's too close. But he was worried. Like he talked about us about it earlier. He's like, you know, I want to use this thing, but I really don't want. I want to make sure that it's stable and doesn't hurt anybody. So I was kind of worried that someone was going to do something like that during her vault. But everybody was very good and like stable. No one made any sudden moves while she was doing her yurchenko double pike. But I hear someone asking, Scott Bregman asking, like, are you okay after she did her vault? And there was a guy standing there with a camera who just had this look of like he'd seen God. That's the only way I can describe this. He was just like stunned and not moving and just like staring blankly. And Scott was like, are you all right? And he's like, and he was like, is this your first time seeing that vault in person? And he was like, and he was like, my mind literally went blank. I can't believe this. Like, and I was like, this is how everyone should react. It is like seeing God, seeing Simone do a yurchenko double pike in person. It's magic, you guys. It makes me want to cry thinking about it. Like I never let it be normal, you guys, watching her do this. It's magic. It's incredible. So I just want to state that again, that finally someone was expressing all my feelings in one look, Spencer.
Oh, yeah. I express feelings in one look, but they're not usually yours.
No, they're not. Do you think it's weird going back to the skills that are submitted? Because Simone, of course, you know, officially submitted.
Simone's yurchenko double pike. The two people doing the triple L, but that's it.
Yeah. No men's skills.
No men's skills.
The men's can't come up with something interesting. I think it's because the men they come up with these unique things and like they never get credit for it because they're like, oh, it's not hard enough. It's not boring enough to be a skill, basically.
I feel like mostly it's that submissions at Worlds specifically aren't that big of a deal anymore because you can get things named after yourself like every month. So why wouldn't you submit it at a lower pressure environment first to be like, oh, I didn't get it at that World Challenge Cup. Oh, I can try again next week at the next World Challenge Cup. Like, that's how I would do it. And even like, you know, Simone's obviously doing a very risky skill, but she's Simone. With the triple L turn, that's not something super risky to go for. Because even if you, like, oh, you didn't get the 3 turns around, so you got credit for a double L big whoop. Like, okay, whatever. That's fine. It's not like something you're really relying on for your score and your routine. So yeah, I think it's not... Like Jake Jarman got a skill named after himself like a second ago in Paris.
Yeah.
So didn't have to submit it here. So it's like, you can do it whenever.
Yeah. Oh, we have a question.
Linzer says, my friend that went to nationals with me screamed when Simone vaulted.
Yes! That's correct. Oh, yeah. This is all the people that saw it and had a lot of feelings. Yeah, you guys. Exactly. Thank you. Never let go of that feeling. Oh, it's so important. What else did I want to tell you guys about before is there anything major with US? Just that everyone looks really good. The only thing that was a little weird was like Simone had like a little shuffly pause before her dismount, which at first I thought like, did I glitch? Like, obviously, because I was like, did I blink? It had to be me because Simone didn't glitch, right?
Simone paused and Jessica apologized.
So sorry. Also, Simone, Simone went back. Her chung wasn't going the way she wanted, so she went back to just doing drills and did like a Lopez. And so I'm sending these videos to Uncle Tim to post, and he posts that, and she responded like, "I told you guys not to post that ugly ass thing," with a bunch of laughy emojis. And I was like,
Excellent.
I just want to be like, but it's good to see that people, like, you're human and sometimes you have to go back to basics and do something a little bit different, Simone. Like, it's okay. Like, you're human. Sometimes you do an ugly vault and have to go back to basics. It's all right.
I love that the comments on that tweet were Simone saying, why did you post that hideous thing? Dying. She's playing, you guys. She's playing. She's having fun. Everything's fine.
She's laughing.
And then all the comments after that are like, what an amazing job. How does she make it look so easy? This is amazing. She's like, how dare you look at this hideous thing?
She's like, it's the worst. Yeah. So, So speaking of this, you guys, I have some stories that I have to tell you, from more stories from the arena, specifically about an interview we did with Eythora today, which I never expected to hear this come out of the mouth of a gymnast ever, especially not a female gymnast. And, you know, I knew there's a reason I loved Eythora from the first moment I saw her when she was like 12 years old. So this is where we say goodbye to and this is where we continue the conversation for our Club Gym Nerd members. So remember, we are giving away an entire commissioned episode to a Club Gym Nerd member. You cannot buy these. It's a whole episode on anything you want that's tangentially gymnastics related. So make sure your membership is active. Log in, make sure it's active on the website because we're giving this away in October. And we'll see you back here tomorrow when we talk about Japan, China, France, Brazil. It's Andrade Day with her pop stars themed floor routine happening tomorrow. Okay, but this is what I have to tell you, this story. So Eythora, I was like, what's their most embarrassing thing? And she was like, that's ever happened, gymnastics thing that's ever happened to you, or funniest. And she was like, stopped, and she's like, well, I never thought I'd tell this story, but